Okay, so due to some circumstances outside of my control, i.e., someone put a complaint in the complaint box to the battalion commander that me and one of my soldiers, who is our acoustic guitarist and vocalist, are having an inappropriate relationship, i.e., we go on dates, in that we get up early on Sunday morning, we go to Camp Stanley because that's the camp we started out on, and on Sundays we play worship music there for the chapel, and then we come back. There is no inappropriate relationship. However, that being said, I have been, by my commander, removed from being in that band. Now, I could totally fight this, but it ain't worth fighting, at least not for me. I'm just gonna let it go. But the reason I bought this bass is because I've got my Ibanez 6-string, which I'm A, unwilling to lend out, and B, the bassist we tracked down doesn't have a bass but can only play a 4-string. And I've heard her play, phenomenal player, but she gets lost on a 6-string super quick. So I went out and bought this craptacular Ventures 4-string made in China, $215 US. Bought the bass, the strap, the case, the cable, and this big fat pick. About 258,000 won is what I ended up paying for it. Now, this is surprisingly not a bad bass, certainly not for the price. It plays pretty well. I mean, it doesn't sound as good as my Ibanez, but this is a $1,000 bass and this is a $200 bass, so I expect there to be a tone difference. Intonation was surprisingly on point. I only had to bring in the the A and the G string, and they were just barely off. Those two were just slightly off. Whereas in comparison to, granted, I bought my Ibanez used, but it didn't look like it had ever really been played. So I doubt anyone messed with the intonation on this. I think it came from the factory like that. Whereas this came from the factory pretty much right on point. Maybe 3 minutes worth of work to bring this thing in. And I only paid 15 extra bucks for the cable. Other than that, everything else got thrown in for free: the pick, the bag, and the strap. So I thought for sure the intonation would be way off on this. I also thought for sure I was going to have to do some re-soldering in the electronics. But surprisingly, there's no cold solder joints, so I was really impressed by that. So all in all, I mean, it's really not a bad sounding bass. Doesn't sound as nice as my Ibanez, but again, for the money, I mean, you really can't beat it. That was a really good price for what I ended up getting. And again, really surprised at the quality that this thing has. I mean, for such a cheap bass. But hey, you know, sometimes you get surprised.